Well, hello there, time travelers, and welcome, new time travelers. If you're new to this channel, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Come along as we go back to 41 CE when the Roman Emperor Caligula was murdered at Palatine Games by Caecus Chero, a tribune of the Praetorian Guard. Cornelius Sabinus, and others. Moving on to 1556, when an earthquake in Sensi or Senex, Providence, China, where 830,000 people tragically lost their lives. In 1848, carpenter James Wilson Marshall found nuggets of gold in California American River near the site of a sawmill he was building for John Sutter, ushering in a gold rush. Edith Wharton, an American author, best known for her stories and novels about upper-class society, was born in 1862. If you were a Boy Scout or knew someone who was a Boy Scout and was wondering when it was established, then look no further back than 1908, when the first Boy Scout troop was organized by Lieutenant General Robert Bandon Powell in England. In 1940, The Grapes of Wrath, the acclaimed adaptation of John Steinbeck's classic novel, had its world premiere. The character Tom Jones soliloquy on the poor, reflecting his empathy for their plight, remains one of the most famous scenes in film history. The following year, in 1941, American singer-songwriter Neil Diamond, who wrote pop songs for other musicians before launching a successful solo recording career, was born. In 1946, the plan to establish a communication commission to study control of atomic energy was adopted unanimously by the UN Security Council. In 1950, American Amendment to Fair Labor Standards Act, raising legal minimum wage to 75 cents an hour, went into effect at midnight. In 1966, France and Morocco recalled their ambassadors in the continuing dispute. France and Morocco recalled their ambassadors in the continuing dispute resulting from the Ben Barka affair. Moving on to 1968, when President Johnson, in a special message to Congress, made another plea for passage of his civil rights measure. In 1964, Steve Jobs introduced Apple's revolutionary computer, Macintosh. 2 days after the groundbreaking commercial, 1984, aired before the national TV audience and heralded the product's impending release. In 1989, American serial killer Ted Bundy, who confessed to murder 30 women, though many believed the number to be much higher, was executed at the age of 42. In 1993, American lawyer and civil rights activist Thurgood Marshall, who was the first African American to serve on the U.S. Supreme Court from 1967 to 1991, passed away at the age of 84. On the most auspicious day of Kamba Mel Festival, which began on January 9th and ends on February 21st, occurs every 12 years. Tens of millions of pilgrims bathe at the confluence of the Gage, Yamuna, a mythical Saraswati rivers at Allahabad in India in 2001. So if it's every 12 years, so it would have been 2013. The next one will be next year, I want to say, if my math is correct. Moving on to 2003, when the U.S. Department of Homeland Security came into being as Tom Ridge was sworn in as the agency's first secretary. Launched in mid-2003, the six-wheeled robotic rover Opportunity landed on Mars on this day in 2004, and like its twin rover, Spirit, which had landed on January 3rd, analyzed rocks and soils and relayed pictures back to Earth. And with this, we return to 2024 and our current history. Let's see what this year has for us. Until next time.